Hello again. Our eNCA today focusing on the breakdown of municipal services. Last week, business organization Sakeliga filed an extraordinary application before the Northwest High Court against two municipalities for failing to deliver services. Ditsobotla and Naledi municipalities are said to be dysfunctional, debt-ridden and plagued by corruption. Sakeliga wants a judge to appoint a special master to handle payments for water, electricity and repairs in the two failing municipalities. It also wants the special master to be allowed to take over municipal administration. Let's get an update on this application. I'm joined now by the CEO of Sakeliga, Piet Le Roux. Mr. Le Roux, good afternoon and thank you very much for your time. First up, before we delve into the merits of this application, where is this process at now that you've made your application in court?
We've made the application and the process is currently with an application to the Judge President. We were applying for a special allocation and a certain form of judicial administration for the case to accelerate it because the crisis is so big and not only in Naledi and Ditsobotla, but also that we think the implications of the case can be very important for other municipalities. So the case is currently already lodged and there's been some exchange of papers. There's been delays. These delays were caused by the government and various provinces and departments failing to file papers in time. So we're now applying for some acceleration of this case. This case is to be heard in the Mahikeng High Court.
Okay, so when do you think it will be wrapped up? You say now you've applied, things must be fast-tracked. Do you expect it to be heard very soon?
Yes, well, at any moment we expect a letter from the Judge President informing us on the potential for acceleration. We had hoped already to be in court last year, but the delays on government side, this is really the tragedy. The delays on this case and the solution is really on government side, is causing a prolonging. So it's hard to give you a precise estimate. From our side, we're ready to have the day in court, to have the court decide on a way forward. We think it's a crisis, and it's really tragic and unacceptable that it is being delayed by government.
Yeah, while we're talking to you, let me just remind our viewers that there is a small box on the right side of the screen where they can watch live visuals coming through right now from Diepsloot. We are tracking that situation there. Avu Mtila on the ground. We understand the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, as well as the new Police Commissioner, Fani Masimula, are there talking to the station commanders, to the local community about their concerns of the rising crime. And what they say is lack of action or appropriate action by the police in the area to deal with the criminals. So we are waiting for that briefing that will take place. That's why we're keeping that box for you there on the right side of the screen so you can see what's happening. And as soon as the briefing begins, we'll take you back there. But for now, I'm talking to Piet Le Roux, the CEO of Sakeliga, a business organization that is literally taking action. That might be a game changer. So you are basically asking the court to allow for the appointment of what is called a special master who will literally take over the municipal administration and fix the headaches that are being faced there by a lack of service delivery.
Yes, what we're seeing is a complete failure at municipal level in many towns. Now, Ditsobotla and Naledi in Northwest, these are some of the most extreme examples of municipal failure. It's actually a form of state failure. And this means that the town, the money isn't flowing where it should be flowing. There is corruption, there are disputes, that the infrastructure is falling apart, service delivery is falling apart. And what we will see, if this is allowed to continue, is an exodus from these towns of businesses. We already saw Clover and others exit Lichtenburg, which is in Ditsobotla, for example. So we're facing an exodus, first of the businesses from these towns. And once we've seen that, we will see an exodus of people. We will see the property values in these towns go to zero. And then that pressure will be transferred to the metros. And the metros will have the problem of dealing with an influx of people from failing municipalities and have to provide the service delivery there, which will be challenging in its own way. So what we're asking the court here is to say, this cannot be continued. We must get the money to ESCOM. We must get the money to the sewage works. We must get the money to get the refuse removal, the service delivery in place. That's all been budgeted for. Something in the administration of these municipalities is going terribly wrong. What we're asking the court is appoint what is called a special master. This isn't Sakeliga's completely new idea. We're trying to ask the court to use something they already applied in a SASA case, where SASA grants were flowing. We're trying to say this is the same situation. A government department, an organ of state is failing. We need to provide an interim measure, an external auditor, special master that receives the money in an account for the municipality, distributes it where it should be going, and whatever is left, give that to the municipality to spend as it sees fit, but just get the basics right. Otherwise, these towns will implode.
So the idea, just to be very practical, is that the special master with this municipal account that we set up will receive directly from the residents, the people who are paying, the ratepayers, the monies for electricity, for water, for refuse removal, and all the basic services, and then pay that directly to like an ESCOM, for example, instead of the monies ending up in the municipality's coffers and then disappearing into all sorts of unknowns.
Correct. Yeah, we need to keep the money, stop flowing into the unknown unknowns. We need to get the money flowing where it should be flowing, as it is budgeted for by the municipality and paid for by the residents. You know, sometimes people say we have a service payment problem in South Africa. That's true. Many people don't pay for the services, but many do, and especially many businesses do. And it's enough to keep the lights going. So we need to get at least that money, once it's paid, because it does get paid, flowing to the right destinations. And for that, we're asking for the special master. It's a temporary measure, external auditors, and this isn't going to be in a different account from the municipality. It's going to be in a municipal bank account, but it'll be under supervision of the external auditors, and the external auditors under supervision of the court. And once government, Treasury or the province or whoever, once they get a grip back on the finances, we're happy to ask the court to take that special auditor, the special master arrangement away. But we can only do that once there is improvement. We cannot wait for improvement from the government side. We need to get services flowing.
You've mentioned the two municipalities, Ditsobotla and Naledi, and you are saying government has been delaying. Which particular department has been delayed? Who are the other respondents in this matter, Mr. Le Roux?
Yeah, off the top of my head, so the two important respondents here is in the first place the Naledi and Ditsobotla municipalities. These municipalities are organs of state. They're at the local government level, and they've been failing over many years in their duties to exercise financial care and service delivery in the municipality. But they're not the only ones who failed to provide what they should have as organs of state. We've also had the province sometimes trying to institute provincial administration, sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntary, and also the provincial interventions weren't successful. So we've also seen a failure at not only local level, but provincial level of solving this crisis. And that's a constitutional obligation on the provinces to intervene. But there's even a third constitutional obligation, and that is on National Treasury to intervene where there is a complete collapse of financial administration, as in these two municipalities. The Constitution is clear that the Treasury Minister of Finance, and in fact a special unit set up within the Treasury specifically to deal with this, should then intervene, introduce recovery plans, and make sure that things get back on track. That has also been a failure. So we're asking the court, or at least it's not been tried. So the failure is on the parts of these organs of state, including Treasury, and that's a function of national government, including these organs of state, to intervene as they should. So we're asking the court not only to introduce the special master, but specifically we're asking the court to introduce the special master as a temporary measure for as long as it is necessary for these other organs of state, including National Treasury and national government, to fulfill its constitutional obligations. Once they do that, there's no reason for the special administration anymore.
Okay, final question, just very brief if you may, Mr. Le Roux. You said some businesses are beginning to leave the likes of Lichtenburg town, which is part of course, of the Ditsobotla municipality. In fact, the Ditsobotla Municipal Council sits in Lichtenburg, and you've got Freiburg as well, which is in Naledi municipality. How big is the exodus of small and medium businesses from these towns? What have you noticed, especially as you are a business chamber yourself, as Sakeliga?
We've noticed a severe concern from these businesses. We've noticed the actual exit of some of these businesses. And it's hard to put a number on these because businesses, they range from one single person enterprises to big companies. And it's not only important that, maybe they exit, but what is the problem is maybe no one entered. These towns are so unattractive. People aren't entering these towns. And that's an even, we don't see it not happening. But that's the complete scope of what we're seeing here is not only that people are leaving, it is that people aren't coming into, and the people who are already there, the business already, they're not reinvesting. And so it is a complete economic catastrophe in these towns.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Le Roux, the CEO of Sakeliga.